I stood and looked down. You know I lost a lot of friends there, baby. I got no time to mess around. So if you want it, got to bleed, baby. Yeah, got to bleed, baby. You got to bleed, baby. You got to bleed, baby. It's talking about love. The love is running to the core. It's talking about love. Just like I told you before. It's talking about love. Talking about love. It's gonna talk about love. It's gonna talk about love. The love, the love.
Rockstars, Eric Andres, your Guitar Sage here. How the heck are you doing? We're having a blast here. If you're wondering why I'm playing a bunch of Van Halen lately, number one, it's because I'm into it. And two, I have a lesson for that song just now on YouTube. As always, if you're looking for lessons for songs from me, the best thing to do if you're on YouTube is to just type in Your Guitar Sage and then the name of your favorite artist. Your Guitar Sage Van Halen, Your Guitar Sage Beatles, etc., etc. Or in this case, Your Guitar Sage Ain't Talking About Love, and you're going to find that lesson. All right, yay. All right, so Instagram's watching, Facebook, and YouTube. We had an absolute blast yesterday where I was telling you about my first band and why it failed and some of the lessons that we learned from that, some of the lessons that I learned from that, and hopefully that you'd be able to get that information and it would help you. And today I'm going to be talking about my first pro audition. So I had many auditions before that, but this was my first kind of big boy audition, if you will. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. We're doing these live streams a little bit differently than usual, friends. So now what we're doing is I'm giving you like a little anecdote, a story or something, and then I'm going to get straight into your questions. because let's face it, you just want your questions answered probably, right? It's like it's good to get a little lesson and that sort of thing too, but since I have like 1,000 some odd lessons on YouTube, you got plenty of lessons. I doubt very seriously you've exhausted them all. And then if you're in the Unstoppable Guitar System /365, you got another 1,000 plus lessons, and I keep putting more videos in there, so you got plenty of lessons, I'm pretty sure. So a little story, a little anecdote, little lesson, life lesson, if you will, on guitar, what have you, and then straight into the questions. That's how we're going to do it, okay? So all three, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, that's what we're going to be doing. And of course, Instagram, I can't see the feed there, so if you're asking questions there, I'm sorry, I can't see them. You got to go to Facebook or YouTube. Okay, and so what else? Also, please, friends, share this video right now for a chance to win a lifetime membership to the Unstoppable Guitar System /365. What we do this every week. We've given away literally, well, at this point, over the last few years, we've given away over $500,000 worth of stuff, guitars, guitar lessons, etc., etc. If you don't believe me, you can follow a lot of the live streams and you can see where we've done that. So without further ado, please share this video right now. You see the little share button there on all the different, Facebook and all that good stuff, even Instagram. So do that. What else do I need to tell you before we start? Would love to hear your comments today. Today I'm going to be starting the questions on, I'll tell you what, we'll start them on YouTube or on Facebook again, just because there's really just not a lot of questions on there very, very often. So that's by the way, that's a great place to go, friends. If you're not getting your questions answered on YouTube, you might head over to my Facebook page, because we don't have a lot of questions there, and chances are I'm going to see them a lot better than on YouTube, where it's going really fast. So I don't want to inconvenience you, but if you're not getting your question answered, that would be a good little life hack, okay, is to head over to my Facebook page. Okay, so what other things do I need to tell you? Real quick, I'm giving this guitar away to one of y'all. This beautiful Les Paul, Gibson Les Paul. It's not a Gibson, and it's not an Epiphone. It's a Gibson Les Paul. Like, it's legit. I bought it from George Groon at Groon Guitar. And it's got gold hardware, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it plays like a race car. I do not get guitars there that I don't like. I love that guitar, and I will not be happy to see it go, but I'll be happy to see that you get it, okay? And the way to do that is, I recently posted a video on my YouTube page. You can see it, or you can search for it, 500K giveaway, which is basically, we just reached 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, and that's pretty cool. And so that's the way to commemorate it. It's like getting a commemorative plate with the king and the queen on, or with the queen on it, right? Except you're getting a Les Paul, a Gibson Les Paul, which is a little bit cooler than the plate. No offense to my British friends out there. Okay, so here we go. So let's get to some questions here on Facebook, and then we'll get over to YouTube. And I know there's something I'm forgetting, because it feels like that was way too easy. All right, so let's get to those questions, and then we'll dig in, okay? Some of us work. Wouldn't it be better to do these after work? Butch, are you talking, what time zone are you talking about? Because we kind of live in a world where there's lots of different time zones. So, wouldn't it be better after work? And then what's your work schedule? If y'all send me your work schedules and all the time zones, I'll see if there's a place I can make this work for everybody. Okay, sorry, Butch. You just got to tell the boss you got more important things to do. All right, here we go. Let's get to some questions. And you can always watch these later on too, Butch. How do you become a top fan? I want a star too. A top fan, I think on Facebook, is when you're commenting a lot. I don't know how that works. It's just an automatic thing. It's not like we give you the star. It's just an automatic thing, I guess, from people who are real active on the page. Okay? Eddie's guitar, it is, yes. This is modeled after Eddie's guitar, which a lot of people don't know, but it was basically a Fender Stratocaster, the very first one. A lot of people think it was a Kramer. It was not. I've done the research. I've done some digging. I dug way down, and the first one was actually a Stratocaster. A couple different Strats that he put together, and then he put a 335 pickup in it. So from a Gibson 335, that is what's in Eddie's guitar, not some, I don't know, not some Invader or Jeff Beck or some like high output pickup. It was a 335 pickup, which is pretty cool, PAF. Surely that's a replica. You're surely right, Cameron, because yeah, it's a replica. I wish it were the real thing. That'd be so cool, huh? I've been playing for a couple years now, Josh is saying over on Facebook, and he's saying, but obviously looking to up the game. I like your teaching, and I'm considering investing in your course. Which of your courses should I buy? Josh, there's really only one course that I subscribe, or that I prescribe. It's the Unstoppable Guitar System, and here's why. The Unstoppable Guitar System is also going to get you it's going to get you the 365 guitar practice plan, which is a whole nother course. It is the course that keeps growing. I do have on Udemy, it's basically the top lesson site on the internet. It's a great place to go get lessons for different things, meditation, cooking, whatever, all that stuff. And we've got the complete guitar method on there, the complete guitar course, and that is the #1 guitar course on Udemy, which is awesome. And we've been there a long time, and we've had hundreds of thousands of people go through that course, or at least my courses altogether on there. But with that being said, that course does not grow, even though that's a top course there. The Unstoppable Guitar System is even above that because I keep adding to it. So, if you want to get into this, if you want to give it a shot, if you want to try it out, there's a few different things you can do. But the first thing you can do is you can check out the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. The link for that is in the description of the video. That'll give you a good feel for what I do. And by goodness, friends, if you have not taken that course now and you play guitar, if you can hear my voice right now, hello, seriously, go through that free course, because it's absolutely going to, #1, it's going to change your playing, it's going to change your outlook on your playing, the whole 9 yards, and it's going to give you a glimpse into the course. Maybe you don't want to be in the course. Maybe you're like, this is crazy. I'm learning too much. I'm learning too fast. This hurts so good, and then you may be like, I really want a lame course. I'm going to go buy a lame course. Try it out, seriously. All right, do I have a chance to win the Gibson from France? Everybody has a chance to win. A couple guitars ago, we sent one to the UK. The shipping overseas can be very difficult, and customs and all the rest. So with that being said, we have shipped overseas before. Okay, is there a specific theory for guitar, or is it theory for all instruments? Crystal. Theory you can think about as the knowledge of music, or music theory is the knowledge of music, or the study of music. But, of course, it applies differently from one instrument to the next. Now, the principles of music don't. They're the same across all instruments. Pitch is pitch is pitch. Doesn't matter what instrument it is. But, it depends, this note is going to be... you're going to have to find it on a piano. There's no strings except within the piano, so you're going to have to press a key. So yes, there is specific theory for an instrument, but all music theory is the same, but then you have to know how to get that music onto the instrument and how it makes sense on that instrument. Okay? Yes, thank you, Roy. Don't forget to put the question mark after your questions, especially on YouTube, because I'm zinging through those, and there's not a question mark on there. I'm probably not going to see it, and I'm probably going to skip it. So if you would like to make life harder for yourself, don't include that question mark. Okay? What amp and pedal setup are you using today? Robert, thanks for asking. So, Robert, I am using my Kemper amp right now, and the sound that you guys are hearing is a direct sound. It's basically, I'm plugging my guitar in, and it's going directly to the board, straight to YouTube, and then to you guys. So it's literally not even a mic'd sound, which is kind of crazy. Now I've got a wedge here in front of me, a monitor that I'm getting that sound here in my face so that I can hear what I'm doing. But right now, it's literally a modeled sound. I've got a bunch of tube amps to the right of me here, and they're magical, and I love them, but the sound of this Kemper amp is amazing, isn't it? And so, as far as the flanger today, or as far as the phaser, that's an actual Eddie Van Halen model Phase 90 by MXR. sound. We got lots of reverb in there, of course, because that's what Eddie did. He used a lot of reverb. Scott on Facebook, I'm a beginner learning my first song watching a YouTube video, not yours. The song's in 4. I noticed that the instructor hits the 3rd beat and then picks up his fret hand hitting the 4th beat with open strings. Is this normal, acceptable, or just lazy technique? No, it's probably a totally legit technique. You know, when you're strumming, a lot of times, 1, 2, you know, you'll do that kind of like a 1, 2, or 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and. So usually, like on the 2, you'll mute. 2 and 4 and 1, 2 and 4 and. If that doesn't make sense to you, Scott, check out the free course, specifically the strumming video and the exercises that I have in the PDF that's attached to that video with all the different levels 1 through 5 of how to strum. Babies start at level 1. I'm a baby. I started at level 1. Everybody who's new to guitar starts at level 1, and then you just go through it. Okay, so I mean a baby guitar player. So like when you're new to this, and everybody's new to it in the beginning, right? I always say I suck at Mandarin because I'm not Chinese, so no one should be starting off the guitar at intermediate or pro level. It's never been done in the history of ever, even the best guitar players of all time. So with that being said, you got to start at the beginning and learn those strumming rhythms. That's going to help a lot, Scott, and that's in the free course. Link for that's in the description of the vid. All right, Jacksonville, Florida. Got another Florida boy. Nice, Ken. Welcome. What about your audition story? It's coming. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What am I doing? I'm jumping into the. Thank you. What am I doing? I got to tell you about the audition story. Okay, let me finish here on Facebook. We got one more. What's your opinion about G&L Tribute Series guitar? I don't know anything about them. Sorry. Looking forward to possibly meeting you. A trip to Nashville is a go. Okay. Prince's Hot Chicken under my dime. Rod, I would, but I'm vegan. So if you can find some vegan chicken, then I'll eat that. But yes. All right. So we'll have something else though. Okay. Okay. So yes, I'm sorry, I didn't even tell you about the audition. Okay. So as you guys know, or may not know, but the story of how I learned to play guitars, I started when I was about 14, just obsessed by these music videos that were coming across MTV and Friday night music videos, actually before MTV, I think it was, and watching Def Leppard, watching Quiet Riot, and all these amazing bands, and I was just like, oh my God, I got to do that. And so anyhow, started about 14. When I was about 16, I joined my first band, auditioned for them, got the audition, was in the band, was in the studio like that week we were recording. I was replacing a guitar player. And then was in a slew of bands from that time until college. About somewhere around 93. Okay, so jump forward now, classical guitar major for 3 years in college in Florida, Central Florida, then moved to Nashville in 1990. From 90 to 93 was in a bunch of bands, a bunch of projects, bunch of studio stuff. And then in 93, I was in a band called Me and Eric. I was the Eric part of the Me and Eric. And it was basically a duo, and then we had our guys backing us up. In fact, the guys that eventually became, oh God, it's a Christian band, and they were really big, and I forgot their name. They were a worship band, and I can't think of the name right now, but they eventually became that band. That was our band. Is there Sonic Flood? Is that the name of a Christian band? Sonic Flood? Sonic Flood. I'm pretty sure that was the name of the band that they became. Sonic Flood. And so anyhow, I was in this band with my buddy, but I still wanted to do more, and we were in this record development deal, which is basically where someone sees you and they say, hey, those guys have talent or whatever, and I really want to develop them. So they don't really feel like you're totally ready to go on a label yet, and they develop you. So you get pictures, you go in the studio, you work on tunes, you record with other people. I mean, you write songs with other people. You get a good repertoire of songs together, and they hone you, they sharpen you to be exactly what they want. Is pretty much. But there can be some good things about that. Anyhow, I was doing that, and I was just obsessed with music, as I am still. And I still wanted to do something else. And what I was doing was kind of a artsy folk rock type of thing that was very popular in the early '90s, and I loved it, and it was great. But I also was all about pop and rock, of course. Rock, I love rock. But I was trying to really branch out, and there was an artist. For several artists, but this particular audition, stick to the plan, Eric. This particular audition that someone said, "Hey, Eric, you've got to audition for Margaret Becker." Margaret Becker was a Christian artist in the early '90s, amazing artist. Like, I remember listening to her albums all the time. And then somebody said, "Eric, I just got word that she has an audition open," and it's very how auditions work, at least here in Nashville, and I'm sure other places as well. When you have an audition for an artist as a big audition, it's not like some open audition like I don't know, American Idol or something, where you have thousands of people show up. They don't have the time for that. So it's kind of a word of mouth type of thing. So Joe tells Tina, Tina tells Tim, and you call a specific person and they say, "No, sorry, we're all full up. We got 5 guys trying out, 5 girls trying out, or whatever." It's not open to everybody. So with that being said, someone gave me a good word that to call so-and-so, and I got into the audition. And it was between me and like 5 or 7 other guys, okay? And so I did the audition, was very, very nervous. I had to learn I forgot how many tunes it was over like a week, but it was maybe like 20 tunes. And these tunes were not easy tunes. They were being played by, oh God, I'm going to forget the names here. Maybe they will come to me. But some very famous studio guitar players that are here in Nashville. I'll remember here somewhere. Anyhow, they were great guitar parts, like all the professional guitar parts here are in Nashville. They're just great players playing great parts. And so I had to cop those. Very nervous about it, very excited about it, all the rest, but I really wanted this gig. Went to the gig, knocked it out of the park, apparently. I was very, very nervous, and I definitely felt like I messed up, but whenever I'm in a situation like that where it's high pressure and I mess up, it's not nearly as big as I think it is, and it's probably not nearly as big for you when you're really under that scrutiny of the microscope, because everything just seems so much bigger. So I remember walking away from the audition being like, "Dang, I could have done that better." Anyhow, I get the call a couple days later, and they say, "Eric, you rocked that audition. It's between you and this other guy." This other guy, I had no idea who this was. It was some Nashville cat who was coming in. Richard Thomas, who now lives here in Nashville, and he's a good buddy of mine, and he's played for everybody now. But anyhow, it was down between him and me and him. I didn't know who he was. He didn't know who I was at the time. And anyhow, it was down between the two of us. At that time, the band that I was playing in, I had a falling away. I won't even go into the detail, but I had a falling away with my really good friend who was the singer for this band. Had something to do with my girlfriend at the time, but you can fill in the blanks there. And nonetheless, it turned out that I did not want to pursue a record contract with this guy because I felt like he kind of slighted me, of course, in a really, really, really big way. And it was very hurtful at the time. And here's the story, is I got this call and they said, "Eric, it's between you and this other guy, Richard Thomas. We want you both to come down and do one more audition," which happens a lot of times, right? And I had just gone through this breakup with my girlfriend, breakup with my best friend, breakup with this band that I was in, walked away from a record deal. My life just was, everything that I was hoping for just came to ruin in like a moment. And I fell into this very, it was a depression for sure. I was just distraught because 2 people that I loved the most, I felt betrayed me. And then I walked away from a record deal. So like all this stuff happened. And I literally told them, I said, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That makes me feel good. Thank you. I'm in no condition to go on tour." And I hung up the phone and walked away from that. And here's the deal. Is that was a very massive turning point in my life, because what happened was I was in this great direction of music and everything, and instead of letting what happened with my friend, with my girlfriend, with all that stuff just roll off my back, I wasn't strong enough. And I talk to you guys about inner strength and stuff like that all the time. I wasn't strong enough. My character wasn't strong enough, and I wimped out. And it absolutely changed the direction of my life, because what happened is, at that point, I rebounded. This is information you probably don't need to know, but I got married, my first marriage, and ended up walking away from music for a while. Okay, I still played music and what have you, but nothing like I do now, and not like I did before that happened. So I literally put the music down, still teaching, still playing and stuff like that, but not nearly as serious. It was just like, I had almost had this attitude of screw you music, when music was part of my salvation. It didn't do anything to me. It was there for me. So the moral of the story is, friends, build your inner strength. Okay, Yoko Ono was his girlfriend. Exactly. It was a Yoko Ono situation, almost, not really. It was more like a Stevie Nicks situation, if you know that story, those stories. But the moral of the story here is this. Roll with the punches. Don't let crap like that get you down. I could have easily have just said, you know something? Not cool, not cool. Yes, I'll come to that audition, and I could have kept going that route, would probably not have gotten married the first time and gotten a divorce and all the rest and all the terrible things that come with that. I would probably change my direction. With all that being said, I'm a big believer of you take the cards that are dealt to you and you work with them. Otherwise, what's your choice? You can cry about it, cry like a big baby like I did back then. I've learned not to do that now. You work with the cards that are dealt with you and you go forward. And then a few other things that I learned from it is really prepare for your audition like I did. I really, really, really prepared for it. And even though I was terribly nervous and felt like I messed up, I did well. And I not only passed the audition, I got the audition, was asked to come back. And the guy who got the audition deserved it. He was a fantastic player. And anyhow, that's the moral of the story. So let's get into some questions, shall we? And these are questions now that I'm going to YouTube about. Okay. And by the way, yesterday it was really so cool. We've done so many of these live broadcasts. It's not even funny. I don't know how many hours now. I probably do 20 hours a month. So multiply that times several years that we've done that now, times several weeks. That's at least 100 hours. Let's see, 20. Well, that's over 1,000 hours a year. And we've done this for at least 3 years. So I bet you we've booked 3,000 hours. Is that right? 20 times 50? 2 times? Yeah. That's crazy. So, ish, right? Now, and anyhow, we've done this for a long time. Yesterday, it was thrash metal. Literally, if you look in the bottom left hand, I'm not asking you to do this. I'm just telling you this is what happened. But in the bottom left side of the screen, there's a little smiley face, and then there's a money sign. Thrash Metal, who may be here today, I don't know, but he donated money. You can donate money somehow like that. And we've never asked for that and have never done that. But it was really cool, and all these other people started doing it, and it was so sweet. Nonetheless, I took the boys out to lunch yesterday with that money, and I appreciate that. That was just out of the blue, so sweet, so kind, and really, really cool, right? Okay, so let's get to some questions. How to keep challenging yourself when practicing the guitar instead of playing the same old stuff. Donald, the first thing you got to do, and this is life, right? Don't play the same old stuff. Stop it. Leave a void. This is where meditation comes in. When you just leave that void and you stop thinking, because we can't control our thoughts, we should just stop thinking altogether, because just this kind of thinking like this is not good. So stop doing what you're doing, Donald, and don't keep doing those things. Like physically, you're catching yourself playing that song, stop it. It's just like meditation. The thought comes. It's not to say that the thought won't come. You can't not make the thought come, but you can observe the thought and go, there I am thinking again. Let's go back to zero, and that's basically what you want to do with your playing. You want to stop playing what it is you always do something different. Investigate some songs that you love. I'm really into Van Halen right now, so I'm just like Van Halen 1, gonna learn that album. Van Halen 2, I'll go on, that sort of thing. So get yourself some goals. Hopefully you're in a program. If you're not in the free program, you should be. YourGuitarSage.com/30 because it's absolutely going to pull you out of any ruts that you may be in. Okay. Are you a big proponent of the cage system? I am. In fact, before the cage system, I remember seeing some stuff on YouTube and being like, what's this cage system? Like, I'm a guitar teacher. I've been teaching for like a long time, and I don't know what the cage system is. And then when I watched the video on it, I'm like, oh, I know that, but I don't teach it as the cage system. I just know the chords, and I teach it as, oh, you can play this chord anywhere. So I'm a big proponent of it. It's awesome. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I have videos for it on YouTube. Just search Your Guitar Sage Caged, C-A-G-E-D. It's an amazing system. Essentially allows you to play the same chord in 5 different places on the guitar. C-A-G-E-D forms, and you can do this for any chord. Now, I teach a lesson for this on YouTube, maybe a couple lessons for it on YouTube, inside the Unstoppable guitar system, and people ask all the time, what's the difference? Inside UGS, I have a whole course on this, where I'm not just teaching major chords, but I'm teaching minor chords, 7th chords, minor 7th chords, major 7th chords, all with the cage system, even how to understand how the scales work within the cage system. So we deep dive into UGS, okay? Whereas YouTube, or I can't, it wouldn't be right for me to put those premium videos in there when people have paid to be in UGS, okay? The Les Paul versus the SG for metal is just personal choice, Luke. They're both great metal guitars. They're both fantastic. Hey, Thomas from Sweden. Nice. Does learning guitar get easier as you improve? Indeed, and yes, you learn quicker. What I've found is that the concepts that were very difficult at first, they just start becoming easier, whereas maybe you could only hear 2 notes at a time and then go to play it on your guitar, you'll be able to hear lots more notes, more complex chord structures and that sort of thing. So everything becomes easier. That's why I always encourage people, go through that free course, because if I can get you through those first 30 lessons, you're good. You're going to be on the downhill, like you're skiing downhill. It's fun. You're not going to be trudging up the hill. That's the first 30 lessons. But in the course, it's not. And in fact, if anybody's in the Unstoppable guitar system, if anybody's in the free course, please give your testimony right now. Let folks know what you're learning and if it's legit and if it's cool. Because if you don't believe me, you'll believe folks that are in the program. Okay. I just started playing guitar. What's the best advice for me? Muhammad, keep your eye on the ball and do the free course that I'm giving you. I've specifically made it in step-by-step format. Make sure you practice often and try not to think that you've practiced enough. There's this mentality that, man, I've practiced so much, my fingers hurt, I should be better by now. If you're not, you're not. It doesn't matter what you think you should be. What you think you should be doesn't mean anything. We think a lot of things that aren't true. We think all sorts of things, okay? There are people that think they're Jesus. They can think that super hard. That doesn't make them Jesus, right? So the mind will tell you a lot of things. So focus. Keep your eye on the ball. Start with the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. In the market for a Gibson, standard or studio, or... it just depends on what you want. I mean, most of it's a price difference, you know. They all play pretty much the same. All right. Law of attraction. Put it out there, but don't dwell on it. Don't come from a place of lacking. Indeed, believe. Like attracts like. So lack will attract more like. Just keep at it with a positive attitude. And Jerry, you're 100% right. The only people that don't know that are people that just keep having crap happen to them. Interesting, isn't it? Isn't it interesting? The people that don't believe in that, life seems to be happening to them. And the people that understand this whole law of attraction thing, life seems to be happening for them. It's very, very true. It's all about your attitude. And I tell you what, I say it all the time. When someone's grateful, it makes me want to give. When someone's not grateful, I don't want to give to them. Okay? And same thing is true with everybody, right? You see a kid who's bratty, you want to give him something? No. You see a kid who's kind and loving and grateful, you want to help him? You want to do something for him? Yes. And when we talk about the universe, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about people, okay? It's not like the stars are coming out and delivering stuff to you. I suppose they could, but I want to make a dream pop shoegaze music. Any advice? I don't know what that is, dream pop shoegaze, but here's the deal, Kevin. Study dream pop shoegaze music. Learn as many songs as you can, and then you're going to learn why it sounds so good, and then you can learn how you can make it better. So don't study blues if you want to learn dream pop shoegaze. You know what I mean? Learn that specific style. Stephanie is saying, hey, I just got my first electric guitar, Esquire Affinity. Should I get it professionally set up? Will getting it set up help my learning? It will help because it's kind of like driving a race car on the racetrack or driving a karate car on a racetrack. It's going to feel better when you're driving the race car. It's going to encourage you. So yeah, get it set up. I suggest everybody gets their guitar set up. You know? Eric, did you have that guitar in drop D tuning? It's not, but it is in A flat tuning, so it's a half step low. Why do you think musicians make platinum hits very early in their career, but none as they get older? You would think they get better with age. Is it life, family, kids, or lack of creativity? Well, I'll tell you. Oh, Ted, thank you, my friend. Ever heard of Line 6 DT50 2x12? You like the sound? Yes, Ted, I will answer that right now. Thank you so much, Ted, for donating. This is something happened since yesterday, something in the cosmos. There you go. There's the law of attraction. There's the universe. Seriously. Yesterday, now folks are doing it. Isn't that weird? And that's been up for a long time. So yes, I've heard of the DT50, the Line 6. It's an older amp, 2x12. It's really loud, and everything Line 6 makes is good, Ted. But what I would suggest is this. It definitely, I think the DT50 is an older amp. And they have newer products now, and the modeling has gotten so much better over the last few years that even though that it's a good amp, the stuff they have now, like I've got the Amplify, this thing sitting in front of me now, that thing is amazing, especially the louder one, the 150 watt one, okay? That's a great question, Ted, and it's a great amp. And thank you so much for the donation. That's super, super kind, my friend. So back to Larry's comment here in regards to why it is I think that those platinum hits come out earlier. Well, there's some science that goes along with that. The brain now don't get offended, youngers, like below 22, 23. I think it's the neocortex, the front part of the brain, is not fully developed until like mid-20s, lower mid-20s, somewhere around that. This is just science. It's not an opinion. You can argue it with the universe because it just is, okay? But with that being said, this is why, especially guys, that's why we do stupid crap in our teenage years up till like 20 and jackass kids riding their bicycle into a cactus. That's just dumbass, right? It should be called dumbass. But we do dumb things because our brain's not quite developed yet. And same thing with the ladies. Sorry, ladies, you're not off the hook. But what does come with that is they have this mind that just believes they can do anything because they can do anything. They can, and you can do anything. And just because we get older doesn't mean we can't still do anything. It's just that there's this time period where you haven't been completely brainwashed yet, and you still believe that you can do things. And there's so much, there's so many hormones and so much angst and so much life at that time in your life. I remember, breakups. Breakups back then were just like, I'm gonna write 100 songs. Oh my God, this is terrible. And then later on in life, you're like, I broke up. Find somebody new. And so, but back then, everything is so big and so palpable that I think so much stuff is written off that, So Subskip, thank you so much. Luke Kern, thank you so much. I need a flying V. I do. I've never had a flying V. That's one guitar I need to get. Eric, how many guitars do you own and how many guitars is enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in this room, and then I think I've got 6 in that room. And then I've got a studio upstairs that has maybe 10. And then there's a smattering of other ones in the house just hanging on walls here and there. And some of them I'm still giving away just because they're just I'm not using them enough, or different tunings, different baritone guitar, those sorts of things, different instruments, ukes, ukuleles, and that sort of thing. But how many is enough? That depends on who you are. It really depends on who you are. I think one can have lots of guitars and still be happy. Hey, Eric, secret, cat's out of the proverbial bag. Yep, indeed. Thank you, Jerry. I love your positive messages. Paul's saying, I've learned a lot as in caged and such, but I still have a hard time putting it to use. Any suggestions? Paul. Yeah, Paul, learn songs. Everybody learns songs because those songs I'm gonna be talking about, or you're gonna be learning, and you're gonna go, oh, here's that chord. Oh, look, that's right out of the cage system. And now a lot of times people use the cage system to be creative. So if I was in the studio and I wanted to capo up the neck to a different place, or I wanted to play some chords, I would be using the cage system, thinking, well, I could play here, I could do this here, I could do this here. So if you're not creating songs in the studio, that sort of thing, you're probably not going to use the cage system too much, because it's typically a creative type of thing. But you could use it if you needed to capo in a different place. It'll help you with that. If you're like, well, here's a C chord, here's a C chord, but it's the A form. Well, I could capo right there and then hold the A chord. Or I could put the capo there and play the G. Or I could put the capo right here and play the E form. Okay, if all this is going over your head, it's because you haven't started with the free course and you haven't watched my videos on the cage system, because you'll get it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, for kids, 2 boys seem overwhelmed when they pick up the guitar. Any tips on a quick riff they could learn to keep them interested? They're 7 and 9. ZP Kids for Kids, I would say start them on the ukulele, because I used to teach kids as young as about 5 on the guitar, and man, it was work. It really was work, because it's tough for their little hands, right? And they're reaching way out here, and I mean, the Asian kids seem to get it. I see videos of them doing it great, but it's a different practice ethic there, for those of you that are easily triggered. It's a different practice ethic there in the Orient, and the Orient is completely PC, by the way. It's just recently that people don't think it's the Orient, Asia or the Orient. Now, so yeah, start them on the ukulele, because that is a much easier instrument. Here, the neck is like here for them, and they can easily get to it. And it's the bottom 4 strings of the guitar, capoed at the 5th fret, and they can easily move all those forms to the guitar eventually. I have a channel actually called YourGuitarSage that I was propagating videos to, but then I stopped because there was too much to do on YourGuitarSage. Mark, thank you so much. UGS and 365 are the best I know, because I've been playing for 50 years and have tried everything else. There is always something new to learn. Thank you so much, Mark. Super, super kind. An SG with a maple neck. 2019 Gibson makes one. Good or bad? Ooh, I don't know. That's cool. I love maple necks. Maple neck. Attitude is a choice. Pick a good one. It totally is a choice. I remember the first time I heard that, it bothered me, but it was Abraham Lincoln that said so, and it was something along the lines of basically how we feel is up to us. And I remember thinking, yeah, but if someone comes along and punches you in the face, that's not up to you to feel good or bad. But is it? It is, because even though the person may be punching you in the face, but it's up to you to decide what that means and how you should interpret that. One person's going to go off and kill that person. Somebody else is going to go, hey, that hurt. Somebody else is going to laugh. There's just different people. So if different people can feel different things, it's definitely not up to the person with the fist. It's up to the person who got hit. So yeah, definitely it's up to the individual. It's just a lesson that we're not taught, especially from an early age. We're just not taught that, and so it's hard for us to grasp. Okay, so what are you saying here? So what is this? Barry Kane is saying it's totally legit for learning. Oh, hey, someone just gave $2. Climber 7565. So kind, buddy. Thank you. Practice gratitude, people. Let's drive Eric wild. Oh, so nice, my friend. Thank you. And I'm telling you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little lunch fund for the guys, and we're just going to eat lunch is what we're going to do. That is really super kind. Thank you, buddy. It's totally legit for learning and noodling to tracks. Talking about UGS here. Barry's saying, started with the free and then paid up. Wish I had it when I was young and spent a fortune on lessons that only gave 1% of what the UGS gives. Thank you so much, Barry. I really appreciate that. I know I spent thousands on lessons, and literally what it would take for 2 hours of lessons with me here in Nashville, you can get the entire lifetime of videos, starting with 1,000 videos, 2 giant courses, 1,000 videos, and it just keeps growing. So for what it would cost for 2 hours with me now. Do I sing a lot in a band? Well, right now I'm not in a band, and when I am in a band, I don't sing a whole bunch because typically I'm playing guitar, but I do background vocals for the most part. The Me and Eric band, I sang a lot more. There were some songs that I sang lead, and some of them that, most of all of them that I was singing harmony with, because it was just me and Troy, my buddy, Troy Johnson, who, by the way, we're friends again. We don't hang out all the time, but we since then patched ways. And same thing with my ex-girlfriend. We're everybody's happy now. She's got kids and happy and all the rest. Not to him, but everybody's happy again. I'm a big fan of that too. Just make amends, bury the hatchet. There's no need in carrying a bunch of hate in your heart. There's just no need for it. Okay, so somebody's LMFAOing. I don't know what it is. Something I said? I don't know. Make sure you put in a question mark at the end there. I recently purchased a scratch and dent Marshall code 100 for $300. Is there a published website with settings for specific artists available in one place? Mike, not that I know of, but usually with that sort of thing, if you were to search like Marshall code 100 settings, just do that. Just Google search that. You're going to have to drill down, but probably the first 5 things that you look at are going to answer your questions. You're going to find a forum where people are talking about that, chances are. Hunger and yearning goes away when success is reached and environment changes too. Danilo, those are words of wisdom. Yeah, if you get the carrot and there's no carrot to go after anymore, then sometimes people just pooter out, you know. They get lazy, get fat and lazy. All right. Oh no, goodness, somebody caught their guitar on fire purposely. I'm helping fellow veterans at Guitar for Vets. Any ideas on motivation and keeping them motivated? Will, number one, any veterans that you're working with there, I will set them up with my course for free. So, and that goes to any other veterans. If you are a veteran and you're interested in that, you can always email us at support@YourGuitarSage.com. Now, we do make sure that you're a veteran, and we have ways to do that, so there is that. But if you're interested in that, just email support@YourGuitarSage.com. Okay, so how do you motivate them? Well, there's a lot to that. I would say, Will, if you're not in my free course, I have a lot of motivation in there. I would say get your mind wrapped around some of the things that I'm saying there. Because if I just tell you one thing here, that's like not going to help you very much. But if I say, here's where all the answers are, go dig in there. That's where to go. Watch the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. There's a lot of motivation and a lot of psychology in there as well as obviously teaching you how to play guitar. And that psychology will help because we've got to undo folklore. We've got to undo lies and myths in our head that we don't even know are myths and folklore. That's the messed up thing, is when one is brainwashed, they don't know they're brainwashed. Hello, right? You don't know you're brainwashed when you're brainwashed. You don't know that you believe a lie when you believe the lie. So it's really important for us to measure what it is that we believe by other things and make sure that it stands the test, Will. And a lot of times, especially older players, they think a specific thing about guitar. Well, I'm not born into a musical family. I have fat fingers. I have short fingers. Whatever. These other myths that don't amount to anything, but people believe it. And right now, as I'm saying this, people are like, "But I do have short fingers, and it is impeding me." Exactly. You've been brainwashed, and you believe the myth. Don't get mad at me. I'm trying to help you. Otherwise, I could pet you and stroke you and say, yeah, you're right. Life is hard, and you should just put the guitar down. But you're not that kind of person. That's why you're here. So let's not lie to each other. Let's be honest and move forward and help each other. Cool? All right, good. What strings do you use and why? I use whatever, really. D'Addario, vibe strings. I use a lot of my acoustics. But honestly, they all sound the same to me. And I said that to a couple guitar luthiers over the years. Number one, Greg, my current guitar luthier, and then Greg, my other guitar luthier at Classic Axe. And I said, do you recommend any new different types of strings and what have you? And they had strings that they recommended, but they said really there's only 3 string manufacturers, and that everybody else buys their strings from these 3 people. What? Yeah, I know. And both of these guys confirmed that. So you might do some research if you don't believe that. But that was new information to me. If you were a beginning guitarist in 2019, would you have a teacher or follow online courses? Harm. Well, if I had my course, I definitely would follow the online course. And then if I had some awesome one-on-one teacher and I had the money for that one-on-one teacher, I would probably do both. That's what I would do. But if I didn't have the money, I'd just do online because lessons are really, really affordable online. But you got to find someone who really cares about you and someone who has a step-by-step system and is going to walk you through it and dispel all the myths and get you where you want to go to, Eric, do you know if a maple neck is available for a Squire Strat? I want to change mine. I don't know. I don't know, Mike. I imagine so. I mean, you can always get a neck that's going to fit, Bianca, thank you so much. That's super kind. I really appreciate that. When practicing the electric guitar, is it necessary to buy a really expensive amp? No, it's not necessary, but a nice amp's going to sound good. On my kit page, kit.com/YourGuitarSage, I have some examples of amps that you guys may want to take a look at. Okay, so check that site out, kit.com/YourGuitarSage. Okay, my first guitar was an Estepan, a disappointment, but then I go back to thinking, okay, good. Oh, thank you, Bianca, so sweet. Zach has diarrhea. I'm so sorry about that, Zach. Hopefully that's not from watching this, but if you need to leave, we're going to be fine with that. In fact, please do if you need to excuse yourself. Ever been to any concerts? I have. I've been to a lot. I haven't been to a lot. I've probably been to, probably under 40 concerts in my whole life. I have friends that have been to hundreds of concerts. I bet you I hadn't even been to 40. I bet you I've been to 20 big boy concerts in my life, 20, 30 maybe. I have. My favorite was Paul McCartney. Love that guy. Your thoughts on doing music full time? Maybe not only playing guitar, but also things such as music production, singing, etc. Discussing music and your recommendations on taking a uni degree. I don't know what that is. A uni degree. Oh, university degree. Discussing music and your recommendations. Music production, singing, etc. Okay, so I went to university. In fact, I did 9 years of it. I did 3 years as a music major and another 6 years dropping out and going back and record, bands and development deals and all that good stuff. Finally graduated after 9 years. And if I could do it all over again, I would take all my money back and would have just done what it was that I wanted to do. That's my recommendation as far as university. In fact, my daughter, when she graduated high school, I said, don't go to college. And I went to college. My wife went to college. And so I wasn't bent in some way, but I've just found out in life, you can go to college, and this is now a big thing where people go to college and they're like, but I don't have a job. And it's like, that's been going on since the beginning of time. Yes, the economy is different, not the economy, but it's just there's more robots and more jobs are going away, and that's only going to get more and more, but it doesn't mean that there's not things to do. So I'm a big fan of figure out what it is that you want to do, surround yourself with those people, read books, YouTube University, all the rest, and learn a lot quicker for a lot cheaper and just do right away instead of do 4 years of college and then you kind of are learning what it is that you're going to do and then you graduate and you're like, well, why don't I have a job? And that happens a lot, right? Any advice on getting my motivation back? I lost it on playing. Scott, surround yourself with people that are positive. Surround yourself with people that inspire you. Listen to songs that inspire you. Take a course. You got to get out of your comfort. You're in your comfort zone, Scott. That's the deal. You're in your comfort zone. You got to get the hell out of there, and it's going to be uncomfortable. But that's the only way to do it. Get out of your comfort zone. Take a course. Challenge yourself. That's what you got to do. Can you play minor pentatonic over major chords? Yes. You need a little bit of music theory, Rob, because I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying because what you're saying there means there's something you don't understand. So like a chord, a major key has major and minor chords in it. A minor key has major and minor chords in it. So it's not one chord that you can play something over. It's the chord progression, if that makes sense, okay? With that being said, you can still play a minor pentatonic over a major chord, but it has to be a certain type of minor pentatonic over a major chord. So with that being said, you need some theory. Start the free course, my friend. With all those guitars you have, how are you keeping them humidified? I have 3 humidifiers going right now, and I'm constantly loading them up with water because it's super dry here. My thumb is split right there because it's super dry. Right now the house is probably at 45%. Great question. Okay, here we go. Is there a way to measure the appropriate humidity level for guitars? Yes, you need a hydrometer. HYDROMETER. You can get them off of Amazon for super cheap. What pickup is this? I don't know. It's the one that comes with it, but it's modeled after a 335, which was the pickup that Eddie had in his original guitar. Is it necessary to buy really? We answered that one. It was asked about fingertips callousing and peeling yesterday. You said calluses were good. My question is, what if your fingertips are peeling? Gary, if they're peeling, don't peel them. Like just leave it on there. Don't fiddle with them. If it just falls off, which I wouldn't know why it would do that, it just fall off automatically, then that's fine. But don't peel them off. That's your protection. It's your body's way of protecting your fingertips. And the hard fingertips will make your chords sound better, make all the notes sound better. They won't buzz as much. It feels better, the whole 9 yards. Keep that going, right? Block off your Strat or just deck it for more sustain if you don't use the tremolo. Rob, I'm a fan of both. It depends. This one is all the way down. So, which is how Eddie had it. I can pull back on it, doesn't do anything, okay? Most of the guys in the 80s had it floating. And so with that being said, it's just kind of up to you. If you break a string with a floating tremolo, then it's all going to go out of tune. If it's blocked, right, if it's just, what they mean by that is this, guys. A tremolo system, you can go down, but sometimes you can pull up and it'll go up in pitch. But when it's hitting the wood of the guitar, when it's blocked, or sometimes a block back here, then it doesn't do that. You can't pull up. And typically there's more sustain in the guitar, that sort of thing. But it also doesn't have that fun play, you know. Are Tech 21s good? I don't know. Never played one. Look at this. I saw a man, listen to this. And I know exactly who you're talking about because I've seen him online. I saw a man play guitar for the Pope in the 80s. He had no arms. He didn't have a missing digit. So I get that one all the time. Hey, part of my digit's gone. No. Cool. I'm not making fun of you, but this guy had no arms. These things that you play guitar with. He plays with his feet, okay? And I've seen this, and whenever I get someone who's whining too much about their fingers being too fat, I just send them a link to that video of this guy with no arms playing. No response. So they either like, screw you, Eric, or they're like, okay, you're right, which is what they should be saying, because I'm right. How can I better my strumming patterns when singing? Luke, I have a whole series for that. I have a video called Singing and Playing. So on YouTube, search YourGuitarSage Singing and Playing. Watch that video. Learn all the strumming patterns that I have for you for free in the free program, YourGuitarSage.com/30. Do all those, and then you want to slowly do what I say in the strumming singing video. Those of you that are in UGS, you know I have a whole course on this, okay? Is the acoustic electric Breedlove concert good for learning to play? Yes, Breedlove makes some great stuff, indeed. I tried to access the free course. I can't. Any idea why? Probably user error, Paul, because we've got like 200,000 people in that course. So try again, YourGuitarSage.com/30. There's like what step? When you said you tried to access, did you go to the link? Did you do what the link says? Did you read the page? Did you do what the link says? Did you look in your email? If it wasn't there, did you look in your junk mail? Like, got to go through all the pieces. I need more detail from you specifically to know how to help you out there. Or you can always email support@YourGuitarSage.com and say, hey, I did this, but I'm not getting the email, and they'll get you set up, okay? Do you have any garage recording tips? Any garage recording tips? Do it often. That's my number one tip, is do it often, because you're going to learn it as you're going along, okay? Do it often, have fun, get yourself a good digital audio workstation, and it's a simple one like Logic or GarageBand, and don't make it complicated. Just record stuff at first, you know. What guitar is this? It's the EVH. It's the Fender EVH. It's made after Eddie Van Halen. Made after his favorite, his Frankenstrat. Larry, thank you so much for posting that link. Those of you on YouTube, he just posted that kit.com/YourGuitarSage, which is my gear page that you can see some of the stuff that I'm always talking about, some of the gear. Suggestions for getting out of playing or practicing rut. Yeah, we talked about that one earlier. Listen to some great songs, learn some songs. That means you're too comfortable. You need to get out of your comfort zone, and that requires pain. It requires getting out of your comfort zone. It requires doing something it requires doing something different than what you're doing now. So listening to new songs, learning new songs, taking a course you don't think you're gonna be good at, whatever. Thrash metal, what's up, my friend? Thank you, brother. Blocking your floater is like a governor on a Ferrari. Blocking your floater is like governing on a Ferrari. Yeah, I know, I'm with you. So most of my guitars are not blocked. The tremolo is not blocked, they're floating. But, you know, foam weatherproofing and egg cartons. Foam weather, huh? Okay, what do you think about DIY kits? Not the cheap ones from China, but pro ones like Precision Kit. Their woods are equal to Gibson, if not better quality. Would you recommend that for a pro musician? I don't know anything about it, Mark, but probably so. That probably would be a lot of fun, but I don't know specifically about them because I haven't tried them. Regarding your story, how did you manage to turn things around after this life-changing decision? Okay, Charlie, I'm going to tell you the really hard-ass way to do it. I don't want you guys to do it this way. This is what I did. To fix things from when I went through that breakup and walked away from a record deal and walked away from a world tour, making great money playing guitar for an amazing artist. How did I fix that? This is what I did. First, I dived into a deep depression, and then I rebounded and married a girl that I should have never married. And I say that I have a beautiful daughter now who's 22, but a terrible marriage. Or at least most of it was terrible. Went through a wicked divorce, custody battle, spent about $100,000 on lawyers and all that good stuff. So these are all the fun things you can do, or you can get control of your life and your mind and do it the right way. And go through a bankruptcy, lose your house, lose everything that you ever had, and to where literally you could barely get an apartment because you are bankrupt, and people would like to have someone who has good credit. So you need to be able to afford a house. So luckily, some little old lady near Lipscomb University here in Nashville, Tennessee, took a chance on me, and I got in my apartment and did everything with cash for a few years and started teaching again and building my life back up and surround myself with positive people and moving on. And that's how you do it. That's the really hard way, Charlie. That's the hard way. Otherwise, listen to Tony Robbins, do the right thing, wake up early, discipline yourself, surround yourself with good people, be positive, work hard, get up early. Did I say that? All that good stuff. That's the right way to do it. If you could have one guitar, what would it be? Man, I have all the guitars that I want. today. I would like a 60s 335, and if I had the money today, I still don't know if I would do it because it's so expensive, but I'd love to have a 59 Les Paul. That's just kind of that's the, creme de la creme, if you will. Any advice for when a person has a couple of days from practice, feels like I'm starting over again? Any particular practice patterns that can help get back in the groove? Sal, no, don't take days off. Otherwise, you got to catch up. There are guitars with pop-up blocker. Pop-up blocker? Oh, are you talking about for websites? There are guitars with wider frets if you think you have fat fingers. I believe Martin's. Okay, that's all the questions there. I'm going to pop over to Facebook really quick and just really quickly, and I'm going to make sure we get to some questions here. And I do not want to leave anybody hanging there, so I'm going to get to some questions here real quick, and then we're going to call it a day, okay? Because I got other videos to make. Oh, and guess what else I'm doing? Redoing the studio. We're doing that today. I'm going to take, as soon as the cameras turn off here, I'm taking everything out of here, which, dear Lord, I say I'm taking everything out. I'm taking this half out. I'm pushing it forward, and I'm going to be rearranging things. Mike and I, and maybe Chris, I'm not sure if he's going to be here today, but he's on the board right now, but I'm not sure if he's staying. We're going to do new background, doing things new with lights, new things with cameras. We've got new and we're going to be doing some new things. Got a new couch so we can have guests over. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited about that. So be sticking around for that. That's coming out soon. Okay. Oh. Okay. Sorry I missed some of these comments here. I'm playing intro to Unforgiven by Metallica, which I love, by the way. Can play the intro correctly and fast using just a thumb and index finger. Should I relearn to pick it PIMA pattern or just do it with 2 fingers like I already can? Larry, you're in the course, brother, aren't you? Pretty sure I see you all the time in there. If you're not, then you definitely need to be in the free course where I do teach finger style, okay? YourGuitarSage.com/30. And in fact, the Unforgiven, oh no, it's Nothing Else Matters. That's the one I teach. But nonetheless, do it the right way, because basically the way you're doing it, Larry, is you're continuing to establish a habit. It's not necessarily going to blow anything up. You're not going to, blow your guitar up or anything, but it's just you're making it, you're building a narrow path that's not going to what's the word I'm looking for? It's not going to help you. It's not going to serve you. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not going to serve you as much throughout life, okay? How would you make the same choices today? I'm more prepared, mentally, spiritually, those sorts of things. And I would have just, like I do now, when something that doesn't go the way that I think it should, which is all it is, not bad or good. I don't say bad or good anymore. I just say it's not what I was expecting. And I would just move on and try to find what's next. I'm always that. What's next? How many people are working with you behind the scenes? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5. I got 5 folks with me now at this point. 5 amazing dudes. I've had some gals working for me too. Some amazing girls too. Gary, it was asked about fingertips, callousing, and peeling yesterday. You said calluses were good. My question is, what if your fingertips are peeling? Okay, we talked about that. What's involved in getting your guitar set up? Lots of stuff, Jeff. If you're in UGS, I have a video specifically on that. But intonation, tuning, new strings, they check the nut, they check the frets, pickup height, the action of the strings. There's many different things. Okay, GarageBand for recording. Yes, I love it. Why so many guitars? Why not? Why so many? They are so unique, sound different. That's exactly why. There's really there's so many different sounds and different feels, and they play differently. And let's just face it, you can wear a guitar out, so we need a lot. Yeah, if I had a lot of money, I bet my house would be like a guitar shop. Yeah, exactly. So fun. It beats buying drugs, right? Don't forget to check out Shopify YGS for sick gear. Oh, thanks, Roy. I appreciate that. Eric also has a store for all the gear that he uses, reviews, and shows. Happy shopping. Thanks, Roy. I appreciate that, bud. Yeah, I have swag like shirts and mugs and all that good stuff. And I will pop over one more time to YouTube just in case if someone did a donation there. I don't want to leave them hanging. I will check over there real quick. Not recommending your work. Was top. Okay. Thought that was a question, sorry. Regarding your story, how did you manage to turn things around? Okay, we talked about that. Okay, we're almost to the end here, my friends, and I'm going to let you go. No arms, Wong. Yes, indeed. And friends, share this video right now for a chance to win a lifetime membership to the Unstoppable Guitar System /365. We do this every week. This isn't like, hey, go ahead and share this, and we're going to do this 52 times, and we'll give one course away. No, we do this every single week, okay? So do it. We've given away $500,000 worth of these. No joke. I poop you not. Looking for question marks. No question marks. I'm not seeing them, all right? Thanks. Thank you, Robert. Well, it wasn't that I wasn't positive. I was just sad. I deemed it, I labeled it as a sad time. It wasn't a sad time. It's just unfortunate. Some people did some decisions. They made some decisions that were outside of my control. So like, why do I need to be upset about that, right? You get upset about it in the moment because you have an expectation about the way things should be. But, you know, does life go the way we should think it should all the time? Nah. Okay. All right, good. Just checking the last questions here. Other than counting, can you recommend a method for remembering the notes on the fretboard? No, Will, that's how people do it. And then you need to know springboards, okay? On YouTube, search YourGuitarSage springboards. And basically, instead of counting, you've got places, bookmarks, if you will, that you can start from and then go from there. No one memorizes the fretboard in the way that you think someone would memorize the fretboard. I've had people argue this with me, and it's akin to saying people memorize the numbers 1 to 1,000. You don't have them memorized. I promise you don't have them memorized, but you can count 1 to 1,000 because it's a system. You're using a system, not memorization. You didn't sit there and go, now wait a minute, 989, well, what's after that one? Crap. No, it's a system. 990, right? You know this. So it's a system, and that's how people memorize the fretboards. Memorize. Cool. Okay, last few questions here. In 2012, Gibson recreated a 1959 knockoff called The Tradition. What do you think of the factory reproductions? Are you talking about, well, where is it? Ah, you're talking about this? This is a 58 reproduction. This is an R8. And it's friggin' awesome. That's what I think about it. So they have 59s and 58s, and they've been doing that for years. And they use really high quality wood. In this case here, this one has the Brazilian fretboard, the Brazilian wood fretboard, which they were like literally confiscating these guitars in airports. It's so ridiculous. If you don't know the full story behind that, then you're a tree hugger. If you're a tree hugger like me, then you'll still think it's ridiculous. Okay, it's ridiculous. Anyhow, it's a flippin' amazing guitar. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna scan this real quick and make sure nobody else did it. Michael, thank you so much, buddy. Have a nice lunch, you guys. Michael donated $5. Thank you. I so appreciate that, Michael, and we definitely will. That's why I wanted to come back to YouTube here in case anybody donated something like that, because they did that yesterday and it was so cool, and it's just really so sweet. Ted as well, and Climber 7565, you guys rock. That's so sweet of you, and indeed, I'm gonna have like a little lunch fund, and me and the boys are gonna go out and we're gonna talk about how friggin' cool you three are. The rest of you are amazing as well. Thank you so much for all the great questions today, my friends. Please leave a comment. like this. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the notification bell, all that stuff, because we do so much amazing stuff here, so much great fun stuff, giveaways and all the rest, and I want to help you, okay? If you have not already, friends, please, I implore you to take advantage of the free course. I made it for you. I painstakingly created it for you, and it's available for you at YourGuitarSage.com/30. The link's in the description of the video. Or, like I say, visit me here in Nashville. We'll go over the same 30 lessons, same dudes, same guitar, same studio, except I'll charge you about $1,000 because my time is valuable, and it'll take that long, and it'll take like 30 weeks ish. And otherwise, you could just like literally click the link and it's there for you for free. You can get in, you can have a blast. Say hi to me when you're in there. People do this every day. Dozens of people do this every day. Well, a lot more than dozens. Hundreds of people do this, but dozens of people say, hello, Eric, and how you doing, all that. So get in there. I'll say hey to you. You can check out the course, all that good stuff. And it really is free. And it's the top 30 lessons that I would teach any guitar player before I would teach them anything else. Get in there, my friends. The kit store, you saw that, kit.com/YourGuitarSage. If you want some swag, it's shopygs.com. The next live broadcast will be 11 a.m. next Tuesday. Got some more videos for you guys coming out this week. If you haven't commented, liked, and subscribed on the other Les Paul video that I have for you, I'm giving away a $1,000 Gibson Les Paul from Gruen Guitar. I'm doing that on the 16th. On the video that's on YouTube, it says 500K giveaway. Okay, you can look for that. Go to my YouTube page and you can search. It's like, I think the last video I put up. Click on that video. 3 things you need to do. You ready? 3 things. You need to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you miss any one of those, you're not even in the contest. You got to do all 3 of those. If you're in all 3 of those, then yes, you will be in the running, and then we're going to randomly pick one of those people. You're going to see it announced. You're going to see us getting the guitar out the door and all that good stuff, because we really do this all the time, because we have a blast. Okay, friends, thank you so much for all the kind messages, the donations, all that good stuff. You guys rule. Michael, I love it that a fire is stirred in you. I'm getting that message every day now. Stir that fire, friends. You are literally unlimited beings. I'm going to get it through your head eventually. For those of you that know you are, then go be that today. And for those of you that don't know that yet, stick around, because you know that what I'm saying is true. You don't entirely believe it yet because people have lied to you, but I promise you I'm going to show you this. So stick around if you don't believe me yet. And you're going to find that inner fire. All right, friends, out of here. Go practice your guitar, and I'll see you in the next video.